Hello friends, welcome to UGC EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Jitendra Sarova, Associate Professor from Department of Geography of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar College, University of Delhi. Today, I am going to elaborate upon tropical cyclones, which comes under the paper climatology. First of all, let us discuss what could be the learning outcome of this module. While going through this module, you will be able to define and classify the tropical cyclones. You will be able to explain the origin and development of tropical cyclones. You will be able to highlight the general characteristics of tropical cyclones. You will be able to explain weather conditions associated with the tropical cyclones. And finally, you will be able to describe the distribution of tropical cyclones over the globe. We all agree to the fact that USA is the superpower of the world, but the superpower fades when tropical cyclones strike it occasionally. This shows the power of tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones represent a circulatory motion of air towards a low pressure center. These cyclones are known by various names on the basis of characteristics, intensity, and their distribution. The origin and development of tropical cyclones requires presence of some favorable conditions. They are associated with violent winds and heavy rainfall and represent destructive weather phenomena with great loss of life and property. In this module, focus is on tropical cyclones, their genesis and development, distribution and associated weather conditions. Let us come to definition part. Tropical cyclones. Tropical weather conditions prevail well beyond the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn due to shifting of overhead position of sun. But half of the Earth's surface and 3/4 of the world's population is concentrated in the latitudinal zone between 30° north to 30° south. The low pressure center word circulatory motion and associated weather disturbances of this region are known as tropical cyclones. Generally, they have circular isobars, high velocity of winds, and anti-clockwise circulation in northern hemisphere, as can be seen in figure 1. They generally originate on the western side of oceans within the tropics. Most of the tropical cyclones originate in the shifting doldrums region. Therefore, in northern hemisphere, they are most frequent in August, October, and in southern hemisphere during March-April period. Tropical cyclones are not regular, predictive, and uniform like temperate cyclones. There is a great variety of shape, size, wind velocity, and weather conditions. These cyclones are known by various names on the basis of characteristics, intensity, and their distribution. Let us come to the classification of tropical cyclones. The tropical cyclones are so diverse in size, characteristics, and weather conditions that no two cyclones are similar, and therefore it is tough to categorize them in certain comprehensive classes. However, the tropical cyclones are normally classified into the following 4 types. First one is tropical disturbance. These are migratory wave-like cyclones which move east to west due to easterly trade winds. Thus, they are also popular as easterly waves. About 80% of these disturbances occur between 5° and 20° north latitudes on the western side of the oceans. It has been noted that these disturbances originate near the boundary of trade winds with doldrums, that is ITCZ. They move westward at slow pace and are always accompanied by clouds, mainly cumulus and cumulonimbus, and moderate to heavy rainfall. A good weather before disturbance is general characteristic and is followed by bad weather. Initially, weather is fine and scattered cumulus clouds appear. It is followed by occasional rainfall and finally by moderate to heavy rainfall from heavy cumulus and cumulonimbus clouds occurs. Occasionally, due to intense instability, they may emerge as hurricanes. Second is tropical depressions. These are small size, low pressure centers encircled by more than one closed isobars. The wind velocities are highly variable, but on an average remain about 40 to 60 km per hour. They occur most frequently in ITCZ, that is Intertropical Convergence Zone, and are rare in the zone of trade winds. They move in different directions. In summer season, these disturbances influence the weather conditions of India and Australia. These depressions normally fail to attain the size of a storm and die out as weak disturbances. The third variety of tropical cyclone is known as tropical storms. They are low pressure centers encircled by closely placed isobars and have wind velocities in the range of 63 to 100 km per hour, as can be seen in table first. They are common in the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Caribbean Sea, and in the vicinity of Philippines, especially during summer season. They are associated with heavy rainfall and storm surges in coastal areas. They frequently develop into more destructive type of tropical cyclones. Hurricanes or typhoons. Tropical cyclones are warm vortex circulatory wind systems of tropical origin with closed circular isobars. They have sustained maximum winds at least 119 km per hour and torrential rains. They are known by different names in different parts of the world. Hurricane represents most powerful and most destructive tropical cyclone. This term is used for tropical cyclones of the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico region. The pressure gradient is very steep and center isobaric value may be 950 millibar, and pressure variation between center and fringe may be 50 to 60 millibar, as can be seen in figure second. Therefore, wind velocities are very high with a minimum of 119 km per hour. The tropical cyclones of hurricane level force are called typhoons in the western North Pacific Ocean. They are known as Willy Willy in Australia, cyclones in Indian Ocean, Bagyo in Philippines, and Taifu in Japan. Indian Meteorological Department, that is IMD, uses the term severe cyclone storm when the wind velocity exceeds 63 km per hour, and when it is above 119 km per hour, it is called severe cyclone storm with a core of hurricane winds. Occasionally, when tropical cyclones have wind velocity above 200 km per hour, the term supercyclone is used. For instance, the supercyclone of Odisha, which struck on 29th October 1999. Let us now come to the origin of tropical cyclones. The exact mechanism of origin and development of a tropical cyclone is still not well understood, but scholars have identified some conditions which are essentially associated with their formation. The formation of tropical cyclone depends upon the fulfillment of following requirements. The first one is continuous supply of large amount of warm and moist air. It is a well observed fact that tropical cyclones originate only over large tropical ocean surface where temperature is 27 degrees Celsius or above. The cold ocean currents lower the surface temperatures below this desired level on the eastern side of the tropical oceans. Therefore, tropical cyclones originate on the western side of tropical oceans. As this condition is not fulfilled in the South Atlantic Ocean, they fail to grow there. It is noteworthy that this high temperature condition should prevail not just on surface but up to a depth of 60 to 70 meters deep from sea surface. Otherwise, convection process beneath cyclone will drag cooler waters to surface and heat supply, which is essential for cyclone, will break. The power of a tropical cyclone depends on the latent heat of condensation and thus indirectly on the supply of warm and moist air. Therefore, tropical cyclones are most frequent over warmer tropical oceans and especially during warmer parts of the year. Second major requirement is presence of strong Coriolis force. Although the temperature conditions are favorable at equator, but tropical cyclones are absent. This is due to the absence of Coriolis force at equator, which is a prerequisite for circulatory motion of air towards a low pressure center. Anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in southern hemisphere. It is only at 5 degree latitudes that the minimum required level of Coriolis force for deflection of winds prevails. Therefore, tropical cyclones are mostly concentrated in the belt of 5 degree to 30 degree latitudes in both the hemispheres. Though the Coriolis force increases from equator to pole, but the number of tropical cyclones does not follow this trend because the surface temperature of the ocean starts decreasing. Therefore, tropical cyclones originate and develop most frequently between 10 degree and 20 degree latitudes. Coriolis force is still more in the areas of increasing latitudes, but the decline in sea surface temperature does not allow the tropical cyclone to develop. It is also clear that factors do not operate in isolation, rather they determine together the origin and development of tropical cyclones. Next favorable requirement is upper level air divergence. The troposphere, upper troposphere especially, 8 to 15 kilometer height just above the surface disturbance must have well developed divergence or anticyclonic circulation to pump out the ascending air currents and to maintain continuous supply from below. This sustains convergence at surface and lifting mechanism in the cyclone, which are its lifeline. Next requirement is minimal vertical wind shear. Wind shear represents the difference between wind speeds at different altitudes. The ideal condition for tropical cyclone formation is of minimum vertical wind shear between lower and upper troposphere. In case of different wind directions and speeds operate vertically over an area, the latent heat carried aloft would be swept away and a circulatory core ascending area, that is cyclone, will fail to develop. For instance, in summer season over large parts of South Asia, including India, cyclone formation is least active in July and August, when surface monsoon winds and upper air easterly jet streams prevail simultaneously. Likewise, the subtropical jet streams limit the extent of tropical cyclones towards temperate areas. Next is the condition of existence of mild tropical disturbances. As mentioned in the types of tropical cyclones, that the weak tropical disturbances such as easterly waves may occasionally develop into a large tropical cyclone. This happens when abundant warm and moist air results into the formation of intense column of latent heat induced instability. In addition to mild tropical disturbances, tropical cyclones develop around small atmospheric vortices in the ITCZ. Let us come to the structure of tropical cyclones. From the discussion so far, it is clear that tropical cyclones are circulatory motion towards low pressure centers. Wind circulation in a cyclone is anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere and clockwise in southern hemisphere. The structure of tropical cyclone of hurricane level shows 6 distinct regions. These 6 regions from core to periphery are: number 1, eye of the cyclone; number 2, the eye wall; number 3, the spiral bands; number 4, the annular zone; number 5, the outer convective band; and finally trade winds cumulus. The most important structural characteristic of tropical cyclone is the central part, which is known as the eye of the cyclone. It is small central area of calm winds, clear skies and elliptical to circular shape. The eye wall is basically wall of vertical clouds, that is cumulonimbus clouds. The eye wall region has strongest winds and heaviest precipitation, as can be seen in figure 3rd. The spiral shaped bands in satellite images give galaxy type appearance to cyclones, as can be seen in figure 4. These rotating bands are associated with heavy precipitation, thunder and lightning. In the outer region of cyclone, subsidence tendency results into the formation of annular zone. Here, cloudiness is less extensive and high temperature and low humidity conditions prevail. This zone is surrounded by outer convective band. Trade wind, cumulus clouds constitute the outermost fringe of cyclone around which normal atmospheric conditions prevail. Let us now come to chief characteristics of tropical cyclones. The main characteristic features of tropical cyclones are: tropical cyclones mostly develop in tropical oceans between 5 degree and 20 degree latitudes, except the South Atlantic and the eastern South Pacific Ocean. A great variety of tropical cyclones can be identified on the basis of shape, size, and associated weather conditions. For instance, the average diameter of tropical cyclone is in the range of 80 to 300 km, but some may have diameter of only 50 or even less kilometer, and others such as hurricanes may have in the range of 500 to 600 kilometers. The isobars are normally circular, closely placed, which means pressure gradient is steep and consequently the wind velocities are high. In case of hurricanes, wind velocities of 120 to 240 km per hour are common and destructive. The pressure gradient in hurricanes may be up to 50 to 60 millibar between eye of the cyclone and the periphery. As per international standards, a hurricane must have at least 119 km per hour sustained wind speed averaged over a 1 minute interval and rotary wind circulation. They move in fairly well frequented tracks. Initially they move westward under the influence of prevailing trade winds up to 15 degree latitude. After that, they turn poleward, mainly between 15 to 25 degree latitudes, and finally turn towards east. They are very strong over the oceans and travel with great velocity and over great distances, but they become weak as they start moving over land or continental areas or cold waters. This is due to the break in the continuous supply of warm and moist air, which is first requirement for their formation. Almost circular center is the most characteristic feature of tropical cyclone, which is already conveyed to you, is called its eye. On an average, it has a diameter around 8 to 50 km. This well-known feature is associated with clear sky, calm and descending air, and witnesses no precipitation. Inward flow of warm and moist air approaches the central part towards the ground, and it turns upward and ascends in a circulatory ring of vertical cumulonimbus clouds. This donut-shaped wall of intense convective process surrounding the core is known as eye wall. It is associated with strongest winds and heaviest rainfall. At the top of the cyclone, the airflow is outward, carrying the ascending air away from the center, therefore providing room for more inward, near surface and upward flow. The eye wall of the cyclone is surrounded by curved bands of clouds that are spread in a spiral manner. Strong winds of cyclones blow anti-clockwise in northern hemisphere. They spiral inward and increase in velocity towards the center. As the eye arrives over an area, winds decrease or cease temporarily for some time, but again intensify to the previous levels. The wind direction becomes reverse to the previous phase of the cyclone. These cyclones are energized by the release of latent heat of condensation and fusion or sublimation associated with cumulus and cumulonimbus clouds. The release of latent heat warms the upper air and provides buoyancy for its ascending motion, and it reduces the pressure near the surface. This promotes a more rapid inflow of air from the base. To get this heat engine started, large amount of warm and moist air is required, which is provided by tropical oceans with surface temperature around 27 degrees Celsius or above. Tropical cyclones are natural disasters and result in loss of life and property due to storm surge, destructive winds and heavy rainfall. And finally, tropical cyclones decay or diminish in intensity due to their movement, number 1, over cool or cold ocean waters, number 2, movement over land masses and gets weakened by surface friction, or due to interaction with cool air or cold air mass, which makes large scale flow aloft difficult due to higher density. Therefore, the main cause for dissipation of tropical cyclones is discontinuation of supply of large, warm and moist air. Let us come to distribution of tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones are confined to tropical areas. The origin and development frequency of tropical cyclones in the latitudinal range of 3 degree to 10 degree is about 22%. In 10 degree to 20 degree, about 65%. And beyond this, it is about 13%, as it can be seen in figure number 5. At equator and near equator, they are absent due to absence of Coriolis force, and occurrence frequency is at peak in the central parts of tropics. It again decreases due to absence of warm water surface with 27 degrees Celsius temperature. The 6 major source regions of tropical cyclones are following. Number 1 is North Atlantic, mainly western tropical part, mainly over Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico, and maximum frequency is during August to October. Next is Indian Ocean, which includes Bay of Bengal part and Arabian Sea with 2 maxima, one in May and another in October-November. Next is South Indian Ocean, the area extending from Madagascar to Reunion Islands up to 90 degree east longitude and Timor Sea in northwestern Australia and mainly during January to March months. Next is North Pacific Ocean area, mainly eastern tropical part over western coastal areas of Mexico and Central America up to California coast, and maximum occurrence is during August to October. Next is North Pacific Ocean, mainly western tropical part. This region has maximum occurrence of cyclones in the world with maximum frequency in August and September and includes mainly Philippines, China Sea and areas around Japan. Next source region is South Pacific Ocean, mainly western tropical part, east coast of Australia, in and around Samoa and Fiji Islands and around the Coral Sea region, and majority cyclones occur here during January to March. Let us come to the destruction created by tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones are one of the most destructive disasters. They result in great loss of life and property, mainly in coastal areas. The damage caused by tropical cyclones is mainly associated with 3 actions. Number 1, storm surge. Number 2, destructive winds. And number 3, associated flooding, as can be seen in figure 6a and 6b. The tropical cyclones are characterized by storm surge, destructive high velocity winds and exceptionally high rainfall causing flooding. Wind speed of up to 200 km per hour and above, rainfall of 30 to 50 cm per day for several consecutive days and storm surge of 5 to 10 meter high are not uncommon. Storm surges are abnormal rise of sea water in coastal areas due to tropical cyclone. It represents the height of water above the normal tide level and it is greatly amplified by local factors such as shallow coastal water, estuarine or funnel shape of coastal region, fall in pressure over sea surface, tides, winds, the angle and speed with which the cyclone approaches the coast. Great storm surges are hazardous to shipping, drowning of human beings and animals, along with destruction of vegetation and quantitative and qualitative loss of soil cover. High velocity winds in tropical cyclones damage installations, dwellings, natural vegetation and crops and communication systems. The third significant damaging process is flooding associated with torrential rainfall during cyclones. On the basis of the analysis of the past storms, the Saffir-Simpson scale has been constructed to rank the hurricanes or tropical cyclones according to intensities in 5 classes, which is given in table number 2. Let us come to management of tropical cyclones. The mitigation strategy of tropical cyclonic disasters focus on integrated use of structural and non-structural measures. The structural measures include construction of cyclone shelters, cyclone resistant buildings, sea dikes and embankments, canals, drains and surface water tanks, safe transport and communication network. Non-structural measures include cyclone warning and forecasting, disaster risk management and capacity building by involving all stakeholders. The advance warning is the most effective way to reduce disastrous effects of tropical cyclones. There are many techniques to generate data to detect and track tropical cyclones. Doppler weather radar, aircraft reconnaissance, and latest and most advanced is meteorological satellites to generate information, to develop forecast and to issue warnings. Let us come to summary and conclusions. Tropical cyclones represent circulatory motion of winds towards a low pressure center. These cyclones are known by various names on the basis of characteristics, intensity and distribution. At macro level, on the basis of intensity, they can be classified into two categories: weak cyclones or tropical disturbances and tropical depression, and second is strong and furious cyclones, which includes tropical storms, hurricanes or typhoons and tornadoes. The exact mechanism of origin and development of tropical cyclone is still not well understood, but scholars have identified some conditions which are essentially associated with their formation. These are: there should be continuous supply of large amount of warm and moist air, which means large tropical ocean surface where temperature is 27 degrees Celsius or above. Second is strong Coriolis force. Strong Coriolis force is a prerequisite for circulatory motion of air towards a low pressure center. Upper level outflow or divergence is another requirement. Minimal vertical wind shear and existence of mild tropical disturbances also promotes their origin. The most characteristic feature of tropical cyclone is eye of the cyclone and circular isobars closely placed. These cyclones are energized by the latent heat of condensation. The tropical cyclones of hurricane level force are called typhoons in western North Pacific Ocean. They are known as Willy Willys in Australia, cyclones in India, Baguio in Philippines and Typhoon in Japan. The occurrence frequency of tropical cyclones in the latitudinal range of 3 degree to 10 degree is about 22%. 65% occur between 10 degree to 20 degree, and beyond this about 13% is the occurrence frequency. They are absent at and near equator. There are 6 major source areas of tropical cyclones, which are mainly concentrated on the western side of tropical oceans. The tropical oceans of South Atlantic and eastern South Pacific are the exceptions where they don't occur. Tropical cyclones are meteorological disasters, and damage caused by them can be divided into 3 processes associated with them, namely storm surge, destructive winds and flooding due to torrential rainfall. Integrated use of structural and non-structural measures is required to minimize the loss of life and property caused by tropical cyclones. That's all. Thank you. Thank you very much.